meet your audiences where they are. That's the number one thing that I always insist founders really think about. Where do people that use your product live? And those that use your product or those that would potentially benefit from your product, what else do they do? What else do they read or research or get in front of them that you could be a part of that conversation?
I want to double back a little bit on the being distracted, because I think you're absolutely right about this. You have to have a lot of focus on who your customers should be and are, and how they behave. And I too have seen, especially early stage founders, get very distracted by, what I call the spectacular. They try and do something that's going to change the game for them, and they put too much emphasis on this like one-off exercise. I'm just wondering, how do you help founders learn like method and iteration and test and discipline? Or do a lot of your founder GTM teams, do they already have that skill set?
I think many of them have a basic version. And with Soul Street, we are not necessarily the first seed check in. Part of our requirements, we invest sort of after they've developed an engineering team, they've actually got some sales underneath their belt, and customer reviews are very positive. And so generally after the 250 to 500K MRR mark, that's where we start to come in and really take a look at the business and start asking questions with the founders and the customers to kind of understand the product even more. But I think where to start, it always starts with the strategy. The strategy is the number one thing that I think, the age-old tale of like, if you want to cut down a tree, you should spend 3 hours sharpening your axe, right? And I think that holds true even in this sense, like really thinking about the strategy before you go out and start spending on swag and spending on sweatshirts and spending on trade shows and spending on Google ads, et cetera, just a spray and pray and hopefully somebody sees you approach, which can be very expensive and detrimental to a company. And I think it's really just taking a go slow to go fast type approach to where, again, understanding where your customers are, understanding what needs are you solving, are you communicating the value proposition, and are you communicating of how they benefit from your solution in a very easy format of where they live. And if you do that, you get eyes on your product, and then you get to continue to have that conversations, and you ask more questions. Where else do they look? Where else do they research? What else do they read? What else do they watch? And getting in front of that.